Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I am driving up to the Performance Racing Industry Show, formerly known as the PRI show, and it's just me today. The rest of my peoples can't get off work and what they're doing, so they'll be up Friday. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday show, so I'm on my way up there today. Friday is when we will be doing the 30 Under 30 Awards Drag Illustrated press conference from 1 to 2. So my goal today is to try to get a bunch of the stuff that I want to do done. Several companies that I want to talk to, some meet and greet style stuff, shake some hands, kiss some babies, stuff like that. So today I'm going to get that done, and then tonight we have the Drag Illustrated after party. That's always a good time, another great place to do some networking because there's a lot of people there. And then Friday we will kind of do a lot of stuff specific to the 30 Under 30 deal. Pretty much my immediate family and friends are coming to this, so gonna spend the day with them on Friday, just kind of celebrating. So I'm gonna get some shots of anything that I think is new or cool while we're here and put that in this video as well, and then I'll do some videos of the ceremony on Friday as well. So from what it looks like, from what I've seen on Facebook and stuff, there's quite a few diesels here, so that always of course makes me happy. So I'm gonna get some shots of that and any cool race car stuff that we might see. So stick around and see what PRI has to offer for us this year.
Hey guys, thank you guys so much for being here. Welcome to the 2022 Drag Illustrated class of 2022 30 Under 30 unveil. This is a huge moment for us, something that we get excited about every single year. For those that don't know, my name is Wes Buck and I'm the founder and editorial director of Drag Illustrated magazine. We started doing, what was it, Nate? 2015? 2015, we started the Drag Illustrated 30 Under 30, and it was actually an idea that we cooked up right here in the show halls of the PRI show. We were tearing down our booth, and we were sitting around having a conversation over moonshine about how we could find a creative way to highlight the next generation of drag racers, the kids that will go on to become Clay Millican, go on to become the next Alan Johnson, the next Erica Enders, and we felt, as hard as drag racing is, as pretty much everybody in this room knows, it's important to provide these young folks some validation. It's important to do something to cheer them on, because as we all know, drag racing will chew you up and spit you out pretty quick. It's a sport that you lose a lot more than you win, right? So we have to celebrate these young folks, and we have to encourage them to keep going, because there's gonna be a lot of days when it might make more sense to go bass fishing, right? It might make more sense to take up golf. So it's important to provide validation and encourage these kids and foster their relationship with the sport of drag racing. So we got a bunch of housekeeping to do here. I want to, what a crowd we have, right? Let's give ourselves a round of applause, eh? This is one of the biggest press or media happenings at PRI, which is something that we're really, really, really proud of. We got a bunch of cool people, VIPs in the room, a bunch of sponsors here. My team's all assembled, and it's just, what a moment that we have 29 of our 30 honorees are here. And what an incredible thing, flying across the country, in some instances across the world, to be here to receive this honor. It means so much to me, more than you guys will ever know. For those that don't know, the class of 30 under 30, this is not a popularity contest despite what you may have seen on Facebook. It's a true story, right? So every year we start taking nominations early in the fall. We typically receive somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 individual nominations. Now that's not individual kids, but that's individual recommendations from somebody saying that this young man or woman deserves to be on this list. How this goes is we get those 5,000, 6,000 names and we start distilling down. And it is a long, hard, tiresome process, but it's a labor of love. It's a passion project for this group. And I really want to give it up to Nate Van Wagenen, our editor-in-chief here at Drag Illustrated magazine. As well as our COO up here, Michael Carpenter, and art director. They work really, really hard on this list, and Nate takes it so seriously. I mean, he's ready to fight about almost every one of the lines, and I'm so proud of the passion that he has for this. And I want folks to know that it is a challenging process. Every year, there's going to be somebody or a group of people, or who knows, somebody that deserves to be on the list that maybe doesn't make it. And it's never a personal issue. There's so many things that factor into it. And when you look at this list and the diversity, it's something I'm so proud of, because it's not about round wins, it's not about track championships, it's not about low ET or #1 qualifiers. It's about being an ambassador for the sport of drag racing. It's about being a good human being. It's about being decent. It's about carrying yourself with poise and professionalism on social media. Of course, being successful on the racetrack helps, but it goes far beyond that. And that's something that doesn't exist. We were actually just having a meeting. I'm going to get off track here. I was just having a meeting with VP Racing Fuels, talking about our party last night, right? And I am so proud. Yeah, let's give it up to VP for sponsoring the party, right? So, the thing that's the coolest deal that happens at that party, and the coolest thing that I think this list represents, is it's men and women, young men and women, from all walks of the racing life. It's not just pro stock racers, it's not just crew chiefs, it's not just crew members, it's not just media members, it's not just NHRA, IHRA, PDRA, it's everybody, because we share as a group the sport of drag racing, right? That's what brings us all together. And I want to remind everybody really quickly that being on this list is a tremendous honor. There's only been 7 classes, right? So we're relatively early on in this, and the people that are selected deserve to be selected. But it's not about being on a list. And I would like to remind everybody that we're all on the list. Everybody in this room is part of drag racing. And I wake up every day and pinch myself that this is the community of people that I get to work with, right? These are the people that I get to spend my time with. We are all so blessed and so lucky to even be able to go drag racing, right? So I want to remind everybody that people are on the list, that people aren't on the list. A, give us time, but B, we're all on the list. We're in it, right? We're in the club. We're guilty by association because we're lucky enough to operate in the drag racing industry, the high-performance aftermarket industry. This is a wonderful group of people, hardworking, blue-collar, salt-of-the-earth folks that we're very lucky just to get to be a part of this. So keep that in mind, because we're all blessed. A friend of mine, Richard Freeman over here, told me one time, drag racing is something we get to do, right? It's not something that we have to do, it's something we get to do. And we need to be very thankful that we're fortunate enough to be able to afford it, and the ones of us that are good at it, even better. So, just keep that in mind, because I tell this story every year, but I'm going to tell it again. I was in my mother's womb at the drag race, the drag strip, Eddyville, Iowa, the week before I was born, right? I've spent my entire life at the drag strip. I've never done anything else, and I don't care to. I mean, literally, I didn't play sports, I didn't do any of that. I went racing with my dad. And I remember being the odd man out in high school, right? I was the guy driving to school in an 87 Chevy S10 with an aluminum-headed 406 in it that would barely run, chopping idle and whatnot. I was the odd man out. The cool kids had Mitsubishi Eclipses, right? Or whatever was cool back then. It's a long time ago. But I remember being the odd man out. I didn't have friends that were my age. My friends were my dad and his buddies. Right? All the guys that went racing with us. I hung out with 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds every week, every night at the shop. I wasn't at any of the beer parties, well, a few. I missed most of them, let's say. And I'm so thankful for that. But in that moment back then, to be honest, I was a little jealous of all the other kids, right? The kids, they give Letterman jackets to band kids. I'm like, golly, I can't get a Letterman jacket for doing the clutch of my dad's Pro Stock car? Like, that feels valid, it feels legit, but there wasn't one. So we put our heads together in 2015 and said, by God, we're gonna do our own Letterman jacket. We're gonna do our own because these kids don't deserve to have that feeling that I had. They need to feel like they're part of the club, they're included. We wanna wrap our arms around them. So we're really proud of these jackets these young men and women are about to get. Again, this is a labor of love, guys. We are so lucky to be involved in the sport of drag racing, and I'm thankful for the things that the sport has taught me. I look at my mom, she's in her early 60s, she's terrified to be outside the city limits. But because of drag racing, I can find myself in Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and be right at home, right? Because I've traveled all over the highways and byways of America, beaten up and down these roads, going drag racing. I learned how to lose because of drag racing. I learned how to fail because of drag racing, which are valuable skills, right? You have to learn to do those things. You have to learn to accept it and overcome them, keep going. I learned how to be a problem solver because of drag racing, right? Quickly, got to solve problems quick. I learned to work as part of a team because of drag racing, right? My math skills, my physics skills, which are limited, they are improved because of drag racing. I think about the camaraderie, all the things that I have learned from drag racing. I went to college for 14 days before I threw in the towel, right? Not my proudest moment, but a true story nonetheless. And I got my education, for the most part, at my dad's auto repair shop in Northeast Missouri, in little old Kirksville, Missouri, and at the drag strip. And I'm so thankful for that because I don't think you could take your kids and let them out and run around in an NFL game, but it happens every week at the drag strip. Every week I go to a drag strip and I see kids running around, just doing their own thing because they know, their parents know they're in good hands. No matter what pit they wander into, no matter if they fall down and get hurt in the staging lanes, someone is gonna pick them up. Someone's gonna help them. And I'm so thankful for everything that I've learned from this sport. So grateful for it, and I continue to learn. And I challenge all these young folks to do the same, right? Embrace this opportunity. Embrace this moment in your life because it is fleeting, right? None of us know how long we're gonna get to do this. Never know when our number will be called. So embrace this moment, make the most of it, truly. Let's start this bad boy off. The 2022 Drag Illustrated 30 Under 30 NHRA Top Alcohol Dragster Driver, Kelly Kondratic. Flow Racing Marketing Specialist, Kelsey Cartuccio. PDRA Super Street Racer, Caitlin Cartuccio. PDRA Pro 632 World Champion, Amber Franklin. It's a little bit of a tough one. The late, great Sean Serra. A junior dragster racer, a racer so well respected that he traveled internationally teaching other kids how to drive a junior dragster. We lost this young man unexpected earlier this year. A moment of silence sounds fitting, but I think we should give him a round of applause, right? Virginia Motorsports track champion, Allison Lloyd. M&M transmission specialist, Damon Cole. NHRA Superclass racer, Nick Eisenhower. Ford Performance Marketing Specialist and an NMRA racer, Autumn Schwalbe. NHRA Funny Car driver, Bobby Bodie. Street Outlaws No Prep Kings driver, Jay Bodie Jr. NHRA Race Team social media creator, Cassandra Powick. PDRA Super Street driver, Aria Connolly. PDRA Grudge Racer and Pro Mod crew member, Jarrell Aplow. NHRA Pro Stock crew member, Kelly Murphy. Summit Motorsports Park track manager, Evan Bader. Evan's got a baby on the way. He wasn't able to make it. He doesn't personally, but his wife does. NHRA top alcohol dragster star, Jasmine Salinas. NHRA Pro Stock crew member, Cody Anderson. Farmington Mad Dog 450 champion, Chevy Floyd. Grudge Racing tuner, Ryan Grigsby. NHRA Pro Mod crew member, Cord Collins. NHRA Top Fuel crew member and engineer, Thomas Prock. NHRA Superstock standout, Wyatt Wagner. John Force Racing PR rep, Sarah Slaughter. NHRA Top Fuel clutch specialist, Kaylin Simmons. PDRA Pro Street driver, Ty Casper. Bracket racer and JEG social media specialist, McKenna Brown. Fabricator and bracket racer, James Rawlings. NHRA funny car crew member, John Dunn. FIA European Top Fuel driver, Ida Zetterstrom. Diesel racer and transmission builder, Logan Yelton. Bracket racing standout, Travis Kissinger. And guys, that is our 2022 class of 30 under 30. Let's give these guys and gals a round of applause. I want to say one more thing, and I've had this conversation recently with a handful of folks. I see Stevie Fast Jackson in the house here tonight, and he's someone I've talked to about this a lot. Going back to the diversity that I mentioned earlier, you'll notice that these aren't all drivers, right? They're not all aspiring Stevie Jacksons, right? These are people that are getting in where they fit in, right? Which is something I love to see. Find a way to get involved in the sport of drag racing. Even if you've got to create one. Right? Find a way to get involved. And one of the scarcest resources, I think there's a lot of team owners in the room would agree with me, one of the scarcest resources that exist in our industry today is crew guys and gals, crew members. And we have to make it fashionable to work on a race car. You don't gotta drive one to be a badass. Right? You don't gotta drive one to contribute to a team in a meaningful way. And there's a reason we've got transmission builders, crew guys, people that don't get the linemen, if you will, of the sport of drag racing on the cover of that magazine right now. Because those kids that are helping put air in a tire, I mean, Phil Schuler Stevie can put whatever tuning they want in it, right? But if one tire's got 72 pounds of air in it and the other's got 4, we're done. Right? And those guys make a difference, huge difference. Guys and gals make a massive impact on our sport. So encourage these folks, bonus them, reward them. We have to foster an environment where it is fashionable and cool to have a shop rag in your pocket. My dad made me, right? He gave me some great advice. Keep a shop towel in your pocket, walk fast, look worried. It was my dad's life advice. Yeah. So, anyways, I do it pretty well, for those that know me. Lost the shop rag over the years, but seriously, we have to celebrate these guys and let people know that there's a lot of ways to be involved in the sport of drag racing, right? There's a lot of ways to do this. We have PR specialists up here. We have like people that work at shops that don't even, Damon Cole hardly gets to go to the racetrack because Mark keeps him so busy in Jefferson City, Missouri, right? And it's important that these kids are recognized because we need more people that are willing to work on cars. Richard Freeman probably needs 400 of them right now to work on pro stock cars, right? Erica, you guys need more help? It's incredible how scarce a resource this is. It's a problem that probably is as significant as parts availability, is getting good help. So we have to celebrate these kids, and I'd like to give it up to them one more time. Come on now.
So PRI in a nutshell, I don't feel like I really saw much of it. I was there Thursday and Friday, but when you have a lot going on and you want to stop and talk to people, certain vendors that you want to have conversations with, it's really hard to get through a show like that. If you guys have never been to PRI, it's kind of a spectacle. I recommend that anybody in the automotive world get there at some point because it really shows you the magnitude of racing. And it's not just drag racing, there's other forms of racing there. It's predominantly drag racing, but racing as a whole is a lot bigger than I think that we all might think or take for granted from time to time. So if you can, definitely get to the PRI show. Usually I feel like it's a lot of the same stuff on repeat, and it's very rare that I see something that like really gets my attention. But I also follow all this stuff extremely heavily, so I'm usually in the know when new stuff comes out. So I didn't really see anything in my limited amount of time that I did get to spend just wandering around that really stood out to me. But the one thing I will say is there was a lot of diesel race vehicles there, and that definitely makes me really happy. Just a few years ago, when I had the privilege of putting my truck in the Shide booth in 2019, it was almost unheard of to hear of a diesel being at PRI. There was a few, don't get me wrong, Dan's always had one there, but it wasn't exactly commonplace. And this year, I mean, just the ones I saw were 6 or 7, and I know that I missed a bunch of them, and I had heard that there was upwards of over a dozen of those things. So really cool to see the diesel stuff really starting to take shape in the limelight. So that's about my whole PRI experience, really. My family came up Friday for the press conference that you just saw there, and pretty much all my family and friends were able to make it for the most part. And so I wanted to make sure that I spent Friday with them, since they went through the effort to come up and celebrate with me. And we went out to dinner and stuff like that. So my Friday was very busy and very enjoyable. And then stopped by the ODSS banquet that night, Friday night, to see what the new schedule is going to look like for the 2023 season. Randy Cole, I believe his name is, the owner of the NHRDA, was there. He was speaking. It sounds like Hot Shot Secrets is the title sponsor for both series for the next 2 years. So it sounds like they cut a 2-year deal with both series. So that's really great. Hoping that the NHRDA does really well, because the West Coast guys, they really need something, and it was a big blow to them when that series took a hiatus. So diesel drag racing is looking more promising than it's ever been looking, and I'm really excited about it. So PRI in a nutshell, always a good time, win for diesel. It was great to go to the press conference. This jacket, man, this jacket right here, it means a lot to me. This is going to be one of my new prized possessions. If you guys are probably not as familiar with some of the names that were called out during that press conference, but I follow all forms of drag racing very closely, and there was some big name people in that, and people that were associated with big names. There was people that worked for John Force Racing, people working on Stevie Fast, Pro Mod Cars, people building transmissions for M&M Transmission, PDRA this, NHRA that. There was just there was a woman from Finland who drives a Top Fuel dragster, and so this was just I felt like a very distinguished group of 30 under 30. So I'm even that much more proud to be represented amongst people like that. So I was on the phone with my buddy JP, and I told him, I said, man, like, this jacket, it means a lot to me, and I'm not going to wear this thing. Like, I'm only going to wear it on special occasions. And his exact words to me were, to hell with that. You wear that thing all the time, and you start worrying about getting your next jacket. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to soak it up. I'm gonna try to live this up the best that I can, but I'm also gonna put my head down and get back to work. So we're back here in reality for a little bit, but we got new stuff cooking up. I'm gonna be going hard on all this stuff on the YouTube, the race truck, the parts and development. So I am really looking forward to where we can go from here. But as far as PRI goes, quick little recap for you guys. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. And like always, like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you next time.